Okay, Assalamualaikum. Good day. So, in this video, we're going to continue our lecture on the work below lowest floor finishes. So, basically, this covers the all the works, mostly on reinforced concrete structure on the level below of floor finishes. So, floor finishes defined as the your, for example, your parquet, your tiling, your so anything finishes on the floor. So below that finishes, so basically below that finishes is the ground slab, ground beam. So anything. So the finishes may consist of tiling, power floor, floor hardening. So in this chapter, in this video, we cover on the works below that finishes. So which entail the ground beam, ground slab, and stump. So how do we measure that? How do we come up with the estimation, and how do we measure that works for works below the floor, the lowest floor finishes? So as you can see here, you have your ground level. So your ground level can then the floor sit on top of the ground beam. In this case, ground beam or ground slab, so on the same level, would sit on top of waterproofing layer, and then this slab is connected to stump, and then the load is transferred to the foundation. This drawing is the pad foundation. Also, there is the lean concrete. Lean concrete serves as the platform or the permanent formwork for us to place our reinforcement on top of clean surface. So lean concrete provide that surface. So lean concrete is laid under the waterproof layer. So these are the works uh, below the lowest floor finishes. So first, let's take a look at pad foundation. So pad foundation is basically a foundation, but doesn't have any piling. Doesn't sit on top of piling, but the pad foundation itself is a foundation, sits on top of hardened soil. So construction of the foundation, you need to excavate the pit uh, for foundation, and then install the perimeter formwork. Install reinforcement in accordance to the structural drawing. So this is based on the structural drawing. As you can see here, it's I think this is 10 mm diameter steel, and then this is also 10 mm that is constructed as stump. So stump is connected to the foundation, and then after you have laid the steel reinforcement, you can point the concrete up to the level of the pad foundation. So during the concreting process, you need to evenly spread the concrete and then vibrate. As you can see here, there's a vibrator here to improve the compaction within the concrete and reduce pores. So you come up with a strong structure. So this is your vibrator. You vibrate. So the works of pad foundation should involve excavation, and then pouring of concrete, and then vibration, compaction of the concrete. This is a motto for the vibrating rod, and then the fresh concrete being vibrated, and then the surface is being spread out and smoothened. This is done by semi-skilled worker in this photo. This is a completed structure of your pad foundation waiting to harden. So how do you measure? Measurement principle for excavation works. So excavation works fall under section D. If you open up your My System 2, Malaysian Civil Engineering Standard Measurement Method. So class D, the new one, excavation work falls under uh, excavation work falls under class E. Class F, earthworks. This is your guidance for the latest version. So class F covers earthwork. So as you can see here, the definition for class F, measurement covered under the measurement covered under classes. For geotextile and geogrid should be under geotechnical work. Should your earthwork have geotextile and geogrid? And site clearance is falls under class E, demolition and site clearance. For excavation of drainage and pipe, that should be referred to class O and class Q for pipe work and drainage work. Excavation for piles, you want to excavate piling to expose the piling, so that will fall under this earthwork. That will be under class H piling work. And then excavation for tunnels is for class S, tunnel work. Excavation for foundation for fences and gates, that should fall under class V, which is the miscellaneous work. So class F is totally for earthwork when you want to excavate and do excavation on pile foundation and um, ground beam and ground slab. So the rules are listed out here, and then you can see here the first division excavation, which is the first description of the work will be excavation, and then you need to choose whether it is stripping of topsoil or cut to fill or cut and dispose. So there are three types here for excavation work. Either you're stripping the topsoil or you're cutting and filling. You cut on some area and then fill on some areas to get a acceptable the construction gradation, or you cut and dispose. You cut and the material being excavated are disposed on to other side. But for foundation, it falls under classification on second division of number 4, foundation. So the excavation, you should choose the excavation of foundation is either for earth, natural hard material, rock, artificial hard material, and unsuitable material. So it depends on the type of material being that is present at site. So if it is normal soil, so it falls under earth. If it is a rock, then you need to specify it to be rock or artificial material or unsuitable material. For example, if you are excavating in swampy area, so the clay that you are excavating is unsuitable material. Because as you can see here, the different classification of the soil type, either it's earth or rock or unsuitable material. So it involves different cost. The cost will be cheaper for earth material, but be higher for rock material, where you need to excavate, where you need to may involve hacking, it may involve explosive, and also unsuitable material, where you excavate and the soil became very loose and watery, so the method of hauling the soil is different to one another. So involves cost. That's why in standardizing this excavation in description of the work, this need to be emphasized in your description when you are writing your BQ. And then the unit should be in cubic meter. As you can see here, cubic meter. And in terms of measurement rules, M9 state that the volume measured for excavation for foundation shall be the volume which is to be either occupied by or vertically above any part of the structure or the building, as shown here. So the excavation should involve this pad foundation, this stump, and also the area on top of the structure. So regardless of the volume that you need to excavate due to your um, due to your construction process. So that is not calculated in the BQ. So the BQ only consider the part of the structure and on top of the structure. Other than that, for your ease of moving or your construction method, so they won't be calculated in the BQ. And also in these definition rules, it states that excavation to form a profile expressly required shall be classed as cut. So the excavation is classified as cut, and the excavation in or under an embankment excavated prior to placing of the fill shall be classed as excavation in cut. And then hazardous material shall include any material whose excavation and disposal is governed by legislation, including invasive plant species. So excavation of this type of material shall follow the legislation of JAS, Department of Environmental, or should follow Makis, Malaysia Quarantine. And material either artificial or natural that are not to be used for work are classed as unsuitable material. So if it is artificial, natural, and you cannot reuse it, so that is considered as unsuitable material. There is shrub, uh, like I said, clay. So that is unsuitable material. Disposal of excavated material shall be deemed to be disposal of the site. So if you think it is the disposal work, to dispose the soil, so the disposal process shall be from this side out of the site, not to the other part of the site, unless otherwise stated in the item description. So it need to be described if disposal. But usually if it's cut and fill, then uh, you need to highlight in the description, cut to fill. Special coverage rules for this item is the item for excavation for foundation shall include upholding sites of excavation. So the excavation for foundation should include the retaining of the site excavation and also the preparation of excavated surface, additional excavation to provide working space, and removal of dead services. So basically, when the contractor giving the rate for excavation, that excavation should include this type of work on temporary structure and on this surface preparation, and also provision for a working space and removal of dead services. If it is live services, then it falls under cable relocation, utility relocation. Next, the last column is additional description rules. So A11 stated that excavation for foundation around pile shafts and for underpinning shall each be so described. So if this excavation involves very tricky small space area such as around pile shaft, so you need to define in your description so that tenderer may put that into consideration in quoting their prices for the work. in quoting their rate. And next one, item description for excavation for foundation to be carried out underwater shall be so described. So if the excavation is uncommon, which is underwater, so it need to be described. And also the maximum depth of excavation for foundation shall be so described in the item description. So the maximum depth should be described because it may involves the excavation may involve different type of machinery. If the excavation maximum depth of excavation is very deep, so it affect the rate quoted by the tenderer. So in the past, standard, it falls under uh, class D. Excavation falls under class D, but in the latest version, it falls under class uh, class F. Class F falls under class F. Because class D is now uh, demolition and site clear, geotechnical work, if I'm not mistaken. Class D, site investigation work. So previously, excavate pit to receive foundation in meter cube, disposal of excavated materials in meter cube, and filling to excavations in meter cube. So this is example of description: excavate pit to receive pad foundation. Pad foundation commencing from reduced level, maximum depth not exceeding 1 meter. So here you can see the maximum depth being mentioned in the description, and also type of excavation, which is excavate pit for to receive pad foundation, is also be mentioned. Next example is disposal of excavated material on site. Deposit and spread to make up level as directed by the SO. This is cut to fill. Sample of description for cut to fill. This is a filling. The next example is a filling to excavation with selected excavated material, deposited and compacted in layers, maximum how many thickness. So this is also cut to fit, cut to fill, and which also this include description on the type of work involved, which is excavation, and then filling, and then soil need to be compacted in layers. So that will be all for pad foundation. Next video we'll take a look at concrete works for below lower floor finishes. So next we'll cover on concrete work. That's all for this video. See you on the next one.